Ageism is widespread and culturally embedded. So says a report by the Women and Equalities Committee. And don't we just know it? But what, if anything, can we do about it? Welcome to Grey Matters. Hello and welcome to Grey Matters, the channel that promotes the fact that the older generation still matters and which looks at issues that matter to the older generation. Now then, the issue of ageism is one of many that's being highlighted by the National Pensioners Convention. There's a very good chance that you've not heard of them, but they've been around for decades and it has more than 1 million members. Now, their main objective is to promote the welfare and interests of all pensioners. They have working parties, lobby groups, and are really passionate about older people's rights. For this channel, it's good to know that there are others who are looking at the issues that affect the older generation. So I'm delighted to say that we here at Grey Matters Towers are in the process of forming a relationship with the NPC so that we can help them to promote their campaigns and raise awareness of issues affecting older people. I'll leave a link to their website in the description and I would urge you to pop over and take a look at it. Now, as I've just said, one of the issues we and the NPC are looking at is ageism. And there's a new report by the WEC, that's the Women and Equalities Committee, and it has warned that there is widespread and culturally embedded ageism, and it requires stronger legal protections against age discrimination. And it also wants a new cross-government strategy to address the challenges and opportunities posed by the UK's ageing population. A cross-government strategy. Well, good luck with that, folks, because when you're dealing with a government that's firmly nailed its colours to the ageism mast, you've not got a hope in hell. Apparently, there is already legislation in force, and if there is, then it's obviously failing. The report found that the protections in place for older people are inadequate and rarely enforced. Well, who'd have guessed? The report has also called upon the government to commission and fund a wholesale review by the Equality and Human Rights Commission. But do we honestly think that having just discriminated against older people by removing the winter fuel payment, Starmer, Rayner and Reeves will want to tighten up on pensioners' rights? And as for funding, well, if they can't afford the winter fuel payments, they won't want to spend money on reviewing pensioners' rights, will they? The report also found clear evidence of ageist stereotyping, and it includes portrayals of older people as frail, helpless or incompetent, or conversely as wealth-hoarding boomers. And this stereotyping is so highly prevalent across UK media that it is a significant contributory factor to the normalisation of ageing attitudes. And what that means, if you haven't worked it out, is that it's so commonly fed into the public domain that being ageist is just embedded. It becomes the norm. And we've seen that in the comments on this channel, haven't we? Boomers ruined our lives. Boomers have killed the planet. Boomers are the most selfish generation. Boomers stole our future. There's no way that these younger people thought this up for themselves. They've been spoon-fed this rhetoric by the media for years. Now, the report concluded that ageism causes harm both to older individuals and by pitting generations against each other and breeding unnecessary and unhelpful division. So, how does it cause harm to us, older ones? Well, when you constantly beat up old people with negative stereotypes, it's easy for them to become believed and to become internalized. And that then becomes self-limiting on the old person. Quite simply, it's gaslighting by the media and perpetuated by the younger generations. Now, if you're not sure what the term gaslighting means, and I know there's quite a few older people that don't, the definition is given as a form of emotional abuse and mental manipulation that makes you doubt your self-worth. And in many instances, it also makes you doubt your sanity. So this ageism and negative stereotyping is serious stuff. But as I said in our video about the generational divide, we stereotype the younger generation just as much as they stereotype us. And there is an argument that stereotypes exist for a reason. It's because that's how the subjects of the stereotyping behave. That's how they became stereotypes. But as I also said, the problem with those sorts of labels is that they don't apply to everyone. Now, if you want to take a look at that video, I'll leave it here for you at the end of this edition. Now, whatever the older generation's view is of the younger generation, it's a very small view. There aren't so many of us compared to the power and reach of the media and social media and the sheer size of the rest of the population that perpetuates this negative stereotyping of the over 60s. Now, some of our subscribers have remarked how different the UK is in its treatment of older people compared to, say, China and Japan, where they are respected and even revered. Well, that's not going to happen here. Not when YouTube, TikTok and Instagram show videos of 10-year-olds pushing old people out of the way and telling them to F off. Something that our generation would never have thought of doing. We were too frightened that our parents would find out. And back then, smacking wasn't frowned upon. I have as much faith in the current government doing anything to help its older population as I have in the media ever becoming politically unbiased. But happily, all is not lost. Now, in Wales, they're ahead of the game compared to England. They have a well-established commissioner for older people and a comprehensive network of local authority older people's champions helping to deliver a national strategy. And what is that strategy? Well, it wants all older people in Wales to have the social, environmental and financial resources they need to deal with the opportunities and challenges they face. Now, the Welsh document is an interesting read, and I really hope Starmer gives it some weight, and I've left a link in the description should you wish to read it for yourself. Now, I used to be a local councillor and deputy mayor for my town, and we initiated the concept of champions for a variety of sectors such as education, policing, health and so on. And when I heard about this initiative in Wales, I suggested to them that an older people's champion would be a great fit for the town. It's a market town with quite a large older population, maybe the same as where you live. So perhaps you too could bring about some change in this respect. A quick email to the clerk of your town or parish council, or to the leader of your district, borough or city council could plant the seed of creating the post of an older person's champion. Now, I'll leave you the wording you could use in the description. Just copy and paste it into an email. The only work you'll have to do is to get the email address to send it to. It's the older people's champion thing is something I really hope you will all help the channel get behind. If you get those emails sent off, do please let me know in the comments or send me an email to let me know that you've done it. So don't write us off when we hit 60. The older generation still makes a big contribution to local communities. They tend to shop locally. They rely on less on shopping online. They use public transport more often. They work for nothing in charity shops, and they volunteer in many other sectors too. Now, where I live is an army of volunteers who are responsible for planting and maintaining floral displays around the town. And so good are they that the town wins the gold award in the Anglia in Bloom competition almost every year. And the retail sector loves employing older people too, because they bring knowledge and wisdom and a friendly face to the stores. And some even wait until their 70s to start a YouTube channel. Yeah, I am. Ageism is so culturally embedded in the UK that I don't think it'll ever be resolved in my lifetime. But if the government adopts the Welsh initiative of older people's champions, then that will be a good start. Next, the UK has got a bad reputation when it comes to the state pension, and don't we know that too? The claim is that other countries pay higher pensions than in the UK, and that UK pensioners are losing out. But how does the UK state pension actually compare with other countries? And is the bad reputation deserved? Well, last year the Pension Times took a look at and fact-checked how the UK state pension compared. Now, according to EU data, this is what pensions looked like in 2018. France, the minimum pension is £130 a week, with a maximum of around £340 a week. Spain, a minimum means-tested pension of around £155 a week, with a maximum of around £535 a week. And in the UK, the state pension is between £125 and £165 a week. Yeah. Now, there are a variety of measurement criteria that can be used, and that makes objective comparisons problematic because each criteria produces different results. But even then, according to the Pension Times, the data shows that the state pension is indeed low in the UK compared to other countries, no matter how you measure it. And I guess what we all want to know is the bottom line, and we don't really care what criteria are used to get the figures. We just want to know how the pension payouts by other countries compared to our own. Here's Instagrammer Mark on the Money's take on it.
To surprise you, but the UK has one of the worst state pensions of all of the major developed countries in Europe. Here's the numbers. The top paying state pension in Europe is actually Luxembourg. Little over £3,050 per month to their pensioners. Incredible. Second place is Belgium, £2,710. And then you've got Spain at £2,287. Liechtenstein, £2,061. Switzerland, £2,124. And a few others, quite a few others that are way above ours. Ours is £883 per month. And there are many, many countries above that. The Netherlands over 1,000, Iceland 1,500, Norway 1,500, Denmark 1,600, France almost 1,500, Cyprus almost 1,500. That is crazy to me. We're supposed to have one of the biggest economies and be one of these big world powers, and we pay our pensioners awful, awful amounts.
He has a lot of content, so I'll leave a link in the description for you if you want to give him a look. Interesting stuff, isn't it? The issue is that it's still difficult to make meaningful comparisons between different pension systems. For example, the UK has lower public spending on old age pensioners as a proportion of its GDP. But most pension systems around the world are not just built around state pensions and benefits. Comparing just the state pension and benefit system does not account for occupational pensions or lifetime savings and their impact on pension entitlements. Now, the Pension Times says that comparing different pension systems around the world is not an easy task, but various research does show that the UK system is not currently providing pensioners with the most significant pension pot. And the UK also ranks high on pensioner poverty, something that our government must know, yet still chose to diminish our pensioners' financial security. And they'll continue doing that, I'm sure. At the end of the day, it's that bottom line that counts, and it's clear we're being shafted. And before the haters start commenting that we're being greedy, just remember they'll be in our position one day, and I doubt they'll just sit back and say it's all fine. Thanks for joining us once more. If you choose to use our template to lobby your local council to create an older person's champion, do please let us know that you've done it in the comments or by email. The address is in the description. It would be great to be able to measure the response. And do let us have your thoughts and opinions about today's content. I know you've always got plenty to say, and we appreciate your input. If you enjoy the content, then do please give us a thumbs up, and if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll get to hear about our content as it drops. In the meantime, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Grey Matters. Bye for now.